All right, ladies and gentlemen, how you guys doing? This is Jay Randy here this evening. Hi to everyone. Hello, 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 hello. So let me remove this from here and bring myself up here. Hello to everyone of you guys. Hello to everybody. Hope your weekend went good for you. And it's always a pleasure to be back here. And thank you so much for taking the time to watch me here today. Yeah. So hello there to everyone. Hello there to everybody. Thank you guys so much. Let's see here. Let me try to share the video. Try to share the video here now. Facebook, I know you're hearing in the background there. It's not my noise. So don't come freeze my video here. That noise you're hearing back there is not my noise. Get nothing to do about that noise. Let's see here. Hey, Armstrong Japa. Good evening to you there, my brother Armstrong Japa. Good evening to you. Hey, Armstrong Japa. Good evening there to you, my brother. I hope your weekend went well. We just here again just to our own here. Yes. We just here just to our own here. Yeah. So let me see here. Let me share the video here with everyone. Okay, let me share the video with everybody so we can talk for a little bit. And then from there, we can go home. So, guys, please share my video. Share my video. Ashton Japa, I'm going to call you today. Maybe after the show, I'll call you. Yes. Mr. Japa, after the show, I'll call you. I'm not going to be here that long, so after the show, I will definitely give you a call. Yes, Armstrong, after the show, I'll give you a call. After the show, I will definitely give you a call. Yes, Armstrong Japa, after the show, I'll give you a call. After the show, I will give you a call so we can discuss a few things. Yes. Yes, I'll give you a call after my show, Armstrong. So stand by for my call. Let me see. Okay, so let's see here. Let me just send a few messages to a few people here. Okay. All right, so we are here. Hi guys, hi to everyone. This is Jay Randy here. Let me see the greetings. I see Armstrong Japa here. He said, "Good evening." Yes, bro, Japa, how you doing there? Good to see you here. And I see my man here, the Tewo Gongolo man. He said, how they call it? He said, "Greetings to you." Yes, Tewo Gongolo man, how you doing? Thank you very much. Let's see who else here again. There are different people we see here that come to the comment section here. All right. And thank you guys so much for taking your time out. It's always a pleasure to be here with you guys. So thank you guys so much for that opportunity. Yes. Thank you, guys, for the opportunities that you continue to give me. So, guys, it's Sunday evening, and thank God for the week and thank God for the month. So, we are going to conclude the month of October and we'll be going into November. Now, the whole year has come and gone. We all should be grateful to God to where we are today. I'm very, very grateful to God myself for the opportunity that He continued to give us. So today, on this Sunday, I believe the last Sunday of October 2022. So this is the last Sunday in the month of October for the year 2022. We are going to put this into our digital history. And what I would like to talk about here today is how our civil society in our country is getting worse. Yes, the civil society in the country is getting very bad off. The politics that we follow every day, ladies and gentlemen, is really harming our country. Yes, it is harming our country. So I just wanted to speak on a few things. There is an article in the news online from this guy they call Mugdad. Mugdad was the recent Unity Party chairman. He he presented some important things uh to many of us out here, and it has to do with the issue of Liberians getting degree but no opportunity. And I thought to share that with you guys because while it is true that you and I are in this country or elsewhere, Liberia back home is not doing so well. And I'm not going to blame the government 100% on this here. Every one of us that form part of the civil society, we need to hold ourselves accountable for what is happening in Liberia because we have been politically divided now. And to be honest with you, wherever my heart leads me now, wherever my heart leads me to really support, I will throw my support. If you're doing something in your party that I believe will help the Liberian people, I would definitely support that effort. Yes, I would definitely support that effort because our country is not going to be prepared to take on the challenges ahead, especially starting from 2030. Will not be ready. If you look at the young people in the country, what the focus point has been. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys saw that video today. All right. I don't know how many of you guys saw that video today where that car was being taken out of the river. But what I saw over there today were faces of young people, young Liberians. And just by looking at the way they found themselves or the position they were in, I can tell you that many of them are not even in high school, don't even have a high school diploma. Before I will even say how many of them that you saw today in our video that are going to college. But these are the young people that will take over the country tomorrow. But how prepared are they? And what are we doing to help the young people? We are doing absolutely nothing. All the politics we putting our mouth into, they don't even have no plan for nobody. For example, there are other individuals in the country that are doing so well to help the young people. Take, for example, my good old friend and brother, Armstrong Japa. He is giving people what I would call an agro-economic independence. Armstrong Japa, with what he's doing today in Liberia, he's taking more young people out of the street and giving them independent financial opportunity. That's what he's doing. But none of the opposition guys you will find talking about anything in our country. Absolutely nothing they're talking about in our country. Absolutely nothing they are talking about in our country. No politician is engaged in anything that will create an opportunity for the young people. None of them. And what we're doing today is going to harm the country tomorrow. You may be in America here today thinking that all is good for you. But from what you are planning to do by investing in the society tomorrow, if you think you're going to get it easy, it's going to be very difficult for you. The population in our country needs some formal education, job skills, or some type of opportunity that will develop their minds. If not, Liberia will have the younger population among the youngest population on our continent. But the sad thing about us, they will not be adequately prepared to take on any job opportunity. You get politicians then waiting to be into government first, then before they start to help other Liberians. It shouldn't be that way, folks. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. I'm telling you guys now, it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. Because of politics now today, you see how many people come here now to watch us now today because of politics. Or because Jay Rennie is not talking for a particular party now. So everybody going now. Just because Jay Rennie not talking for nobody now, everybody going now. That's how deceitful we are today. That's how deceitful we are. So we the big five on here now. If we decide to support anybody, they will have to pay me now. And my support will be to educate the young people now. CDC called me today and said, look, we want you to campaign for us, we'll pay you. I will go there. Tewo Gongolo called me today and said, I want you to campaign for me. I will go there. Yes, I will. As long as they pay me, I will go there. Because if it seems to be now, from my understanding now, that everybody, to each is their own now. To each is their own. They don't believe in building a country from an independent mind. Everybody got to be somewhere. So for me, I will be coming in now with money on my mind and my mind on my money. That's how I will sell my knowledge now. Is it the right thing to do? Well, some will say no, it's not the right thing. But what do I get to lose? If I get the opportunity to help somebody party succeed, they will pay me. But I'm not going to be part of any more political party. No. But if you call me to consult with you, I will consult with you as long as you pay me your money. And I can consult with 2, 3 political parties. Yes. I can consult. I'm like the guy now who's setting, like you got a phone company, right? You can subscribe to any business. Phone company provider, they can do different businesses. For example, Comcast can provide their services. Comcast is a utility company in America. They can provide services to different businesses. That's how we're going to be doing now. What are you talking about here? Oh, what's his name? Brother, I am still waiting for your response. What response is that? What's his name? What response are you talking about? What response are you talking about? What response are you talking about? Yango, what is the response? What are you talking about, Yango? What are you talking about, Yango? What is the response? What is the response? He is not talking to you. Oh, he's not talking to me. Oh, okay, okay. Thank you, Vivian. Thank you, Vivian, for that clarity. I thought I was the one he was talking to. Yeah, so that's how it is now. So we on the platform for a better Liberia, we will give our knowledge to any political party platform that we believe will help make Liberia better. Yes, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do. Yeah, thank you, Henry. I think what's her name already made the clarification. That's what we're going to be doing now, folks. There is no independent-minded person in Liberia right now, as far as political party goes. Yes, everybody to each their own now. So we just come out now and be the highest bidder now. The only exception that I can make on this one year that would be a little bit of a prejudice, maybe it will be for Boca people. Yes, maybe it will be for the Boca people, because for the Boca people it will be very difficult for me to help them. No, I can't do that. I may not sound to be a very perfect person in that direction, but I cannot do that. And that's something that I plan not to do at all. But aside from that, any other political party, because the young people in our country need a leadership that will open their eyes. Wherever Mr. Weah is deficient, if he needs my help, I will help him. Wherever Teo Gongo is deficient, if he needs my help, I will help him. The ANC, wherever they are deficient, they need my help, I will help them. But every one of them got to pay me. And then when I come on my show, I will make sure that I bring their failure, their weakness to you guys out here for us to discuss. So if ANC not doing well, I will come here and talk about it. If Unity Party not doing well, even though I'm not providing any positive things about them, I will still come here and talk about them, because the Liberian people, the young population, also looking up to them. If CDC is struggling, I will also come here and provide that on the platform. But for any reason, if they need my help, they will have to pay me. And my options are open to all political parties now, because there is no party, everyone now, all right? Everyone now, they're not behaving like this. When you support ANC, they come behind you. When you say the truth to ANC, they run away from you. When you go to CDC, they come. So the way I figure things out now, everybody now will have to pay for me. If your party doing wrong, I will come here and declare it, and tell you your party is doing wrong. If your party is doing good, that will be left up to me to come and tell you that your party is doing good. If I don't feel good to talk about your party that day, I'm not going to talk about your party. But if your party does wrong, if that thing is wrong, I will come and talk about it. Any wrong that is being done by your party, I will come and talk about it. If your party does good, it's not my business to come and talk about it if I do not feel good to talk about it. Yes, because every taste that you got is depend on what you want to do. Let me say hi here to my sister here, how do you call it? Says Yvonne. That's the only ANC person you see here today now. Because when we start speaking the truth, everyone run away now. All the people make up B10, make up B10. Make up B10, make up beat this one here. So fake people in our community. So fake people. They are fake. Look, if they don't get a rightful person, Joe Weah will stay over there until God can find, because the Liberian people, through their prayer, brought Mr. Weah in that chair, right? So no matter what Mr. Weah doing in that happy way, it was God that chose him. Now, whatever Mr. Weah is doing, the fake people there around here, if they don't take time, God will keep in there because they are fake. All right. Let me see what my sister said. She said, but we have to build an independent group, Randy. Yes, we build an independent group, but at the same time, the independent building group we have to do, says Vivian, we have to channel it through a particular institution. Yes. Oh, so you're not ANC person? Oh, okay. But you have some support for ANC though. Says Yvonne, you have some support for ANC. Says Vivian, I clearly understand where you're coming from, but our independent group will have to be engaged. We must engage a party that we believe will help the young people. So if CDC come back today and say, hey, J. Randy, yes, we are doing the best thing. We are trying to make progress. If we determine that that progress is going to help the young people and the people of Liberia, I would say, yes, I am going to throw my support for that particular program that CDC is going to bring about. Yes. If the ANC people come, but at the same time, they're going to pay me. If the ANC people can say, hey, J. Randy, this is what we want you to do. All right, we want you to help us do X, Y, Z. They will have to pay me for it too. Yeah, they will have to pay me. There's going to be nothing free because from what I see now, to each is their own. All right, to each is their own. So I know, since Vivian, you standing your ground, and I believe and I trust you for doing that. But what I want you to understand, the risk our country is going through now, I am saying we have to get involved with the people, because every youth in our country got some connection to a political party. And if we decide to just be in the middle, we will not get more of them. So we have to like put ourselves in a situation where we can engage them. And our engagement strategy will be going through the political parties. And that will cost something. So whatever show I appear on, I am going to make myself to feel marketable. The other day, last week, I was the um on the Freedom Hub show. We were talking about the environment. I provided a lot of expertise advice, subject matter expertise advice to the Liberian people and the government, but they wanted me to come up with more and detail of what I was saying. And I said, no, you have to pay me, because if I consult with you guys, you'll give me any contract when I come to this country or stay here. I can begin to train young people what they need to do. I can also get involved with companies that are doing business with the government and also begin to train the young people. My goal here is to build young people a skill set that will prepare them for the future. So whoever got their organization, their company that really need young people to have the necessary skills from my background, I am willing to work with any political party looking at any program that will enhance youth empowerment through my expertise, but they will have to pay me. Yeah, they will have to pay me for me to do that. That means that any political party that come to me and say, hey, can you do this for us? Yes, I will do it for you guys, but you'll have to pay me. That's what I will do. All right. We just established a place for them to identify themselves. Yes. So let me read what says Vivian wrote here, right? We have to build an independent group, Randy. There are many independent minded people in Mama Liberia than you think. We just we just have to establish a place for them to identify. Yes, we will keep that in mind, says Vivian. We will keep that in mind. And that is why we have our space on the radio station. So when we get to that radio station every day during the course of, anytime during the course of the week, we will use that time to write the independent mind. But however, when we give them that opportunity, wherever we are focusing, because it's either the government or the political party, perhaps that want to establish some type of opportunity for young people, I want to give the young people not just the knowledge to make critical decisions, but also build for them a career sense of direction as to what they want to do. So my professional background will be out there for sale. If you need what I have, you have to buy it. Whether it is written regulation, whether it is engaging the government entity, you got to buy my knowledge. Secondly, the independent supporting group will still exist. We will meet with them and then we'll start to have conversation. We need to build that, and I agree. But when we build it, where we're going to take it next is that the student graduates from high school or from college. Where do they go to find job? So the other component of what I will be doing will help to direct them as well. So that's two things. We have to play with these people on the ground because we got no choice of just working with the independent people, and we're not restricting ourselves to one group of people because they have resolved to be engaged in anything goes. That's the knowledge they have. That is the knowledge they have. So what we do is, if the opportunity present itself, maybe we'll talk about the youth empowerment in the country. The youth are very eager. Selkie Jeremy is talking about we need skill, we need to improve, we need to, let's say, build the youth capacity in the country. If somebody come and say, hey, we got a program here, we need expertise knowledge to develop the program for the youth. Then we will leave that independent and we'll go and consult. And consulting with them because we understand the youth, and we will tell the youth now, look, you see that particular party over there, we are going to be working with them, developing program for them, regulation for them, policy for them that will help you to work along with them. If we already brought them together and they understand what our vision is for them, and when we start to direct them and say, hey, that party makes sense, this other party does not make sense. If that party agree with what we working on, we will come there. Then when we come to the independent discussion, we are going to look at each party and start to tell Liberian people, you see that party over there, that party not correct. They don't have you at heart. But you see the other party here, the other party here got program that benefit you. So that is the strategy we'll be doing. We will open the eyes of the independent people. At the same time, we will be looking to work with political parties that will be working in the interest of people, even the government too. Yes. So my brother say here, Big Ten will come back when you start talking good for them again. No, this time when they come, we're not going to accept no numbers. We want to got our B5. We want to got our B5 now. We want to got our B5 now. That's all we have. Our B5 will remain unchanged. When this number start to grow, we're not going to accept any other category. I don't care. You can come here, you cry numbers. Every time you watch the show, we will not accept any B5, no, or any B6, no. My B5 will remain here as it is. Because if you look at the country today, why are we challenging things in our country? We're supposed to be challenging things in our country because the country is getting bad off. Now, let me play something for you guys here and slow down the talking here, right? So let's listen to this particular program here, right? Listen to this.
Here. And I've got the privilege of moderating a really fabulous panel on 1 billion people, over 50 countries. There are always a lot of different African stories. But when big picture dynamics that affect
established 20 years after USAID to really look at
really big drivers of change. And what I thought we might do just to start off is ask our panelists, which of these drivers they've seen affecting their work. So why don't we start with you, CD?
Great. Thank you, Michelle. And thank you all for being here this morning. It's a great opportunity. So I lead the U.S. African Development Foundation. We're sort of the U.S. government's best kept secret that's not supposed to be a secret. We're an independent agency established 20 years after USAID to really look at an African-led, African-driven model of development where we invest directly into African grassroots cooperatives, community organizations, and African entrepreneurs to really stimulate community-driven development and local economic development in hard-to-reach remote places. So,
okay, now let me stop it right there, folks. Let's stop it right there. Let's stop it right there, all right? Let's stop it right there. Let's stop it right there. How many of you guys ever heard about the United States African Foundation? The United States African Foundation. How many of you guys ever heard about that? Well, if this is your first time, this guy is running that across the continent of Africa. Their goal, they are like a parallel to USAID, but the difference there is the United States Africa Foundation, yes, the United States Africa Foundation is mostly involved with community-driven projects. They don't go to government. They rather go in the community and begin to work with community of young people. Yes, that's what they do. They work with community of young people. Let me just look them up here quickly here. All right, let me just look them up quickly here so that we can move on with this. Let me just look them up quickly here. The African, it's called the United States. Okay, I'm looking at it. I mean, I'm trying to find it all around. So you can see, I cannot see you guys, but I'm sure you guys can see me. So the United States, okay, United States Foundation. I think it's the Foundation for Africa, or Africa Foundation. Okay. United States Foundation for Africa. I think that's why it is called. Let's see what it will give me. That the United States Foundation for Africa is loading up right now. Let's see what it's going to come out with so that way we can get to see it. Yes. So in the meantime, as while it is loading up, let me come back to you guys here. All right. Let me come back to you guys here. All right. All right. I'm hoping that it lasts forever. All right. Let me see. I am in total agreement. Let me see what says Vivian wrote here. All right, she wrote something here. I'm in total agreement with you. All right, I'm in total agreement with you here. Okay, I'm in total agreement with you that. Let me just put it up here. Oh, I just took it out. All right, that you should be paid for your knowledge. Yes, 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 and I agree with you on that as well too. Yes, I agree with you, and thank you for agreeing with me on that. All right. So what's going on here, guys? Okay, let's see here. All right, so this is it. The U.S. Africa Development Foundation. All right, so this is it right here. All right, so we got it right here. The U.S. African Foundation Development. Let me see what I can turn that on here. Hold on, guys. I need to do something here. I'm going to go quiet a little bit. Yes, I will be going quiet a little bit. Let me see. Let me see here. All right, I'll be going quiet. Okay, so you're making sense here now. All right, so let's see here. Let me turn it around here. Let's come back here quickly here. So let's go and share that screen with you guys here. Let's go to share a screen so you can get to see what I'm seeing here. All right, so let's come right here. Okay, so you're gonna see it right here. So I'm going to share this screen with you guys so you can take a good look at the screen here. All right, it's going to be coming up shortly. I think you can see it here. Let's see here. All right, it's going to be coming up shortly. I think you can see. Okay, it's loading up. It is loading up. Let's see here. All right, there you go. You can see that now, right? All right, so let's see here. I gotta do something here. Let me try to switch. Let me try to change the internet here. I'm going to lose you guys. Let me see why I can change my internet here. So I'm going to lose you guys here. Yes, I'll be losing you guys. Let me try to go down to. All right. Let me go back to my 5G down here. Yes, let's go back to the 5G here. Okay, so I'm in my 5G here. I hope I don't lose connection. I won't lose. Let's see here. I don't lose. Yes, I don't lose connection. I am right here. Okay, let's see here. How long you gonna take to verify? Jeez. All right. So I think I'm in now. I think I'm connected now. Let's see. Come on, show it to me. Can you guys still see my screen? It's telling me I'm connected now. Yeah, so I'm connected now. All right. So I am connected now. So I just switch. All right. All right. All right. Okay. So you're still here. That's good. 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 Let me see here. All right. So let me do something quickly here for you guys. Let me do something quickly here for you guys.
20 countries throughout the continent. We're in the Horn of Africa, we're in the Sahel, we're in the Great Lakes regions, and that's sort of Niger and Mali and South Sudan and Somalia, DRC and Burundi, and really challenging places, but to really stimulate local economic development in those places by investing directly into Africans and their ideas for transformation. So when we look at social changes across the continent, we look at them, as you said, Michelle, you look through a prism of policy and governance and leadership, and we look through a prism of sort of development. And how do we look at these social challenges and opportunities from a development standpoint? And we're demand driven and demand responsive. So we're not in Washington, D.C. coming up with solutions for grassroots communities in Africa. We're really going to those places, and we have teams of people on the ground who have this local insight and local sensing capability to really find, fund, and support, again, community-driven solutions. So issues around food security are really important to us, but also to the communities that we serve. And so when you think about a continent where 70% of 1.2 billion people, 70% earn their livelihoods somewhere along the agricultural value chain, from production to harvest to processing to distribution. But they have Africa, the continent, has a food import bill of $35 billion. So food insecurity is running rapid. They're spending money, real money, billions of dollars to bring in food. And so if we can have these communities really invest in them to increase their production, to increase their market access, to really look at Africans being producers and consumers of goods and services, especially along the agricultural.
All right, guys. So sorry there. Sorry there. I got caught up doing something here. So sorry there. Let me see what I can do here, right? So let's go back to that link again. All right. So let's go back to that link. You heard this guy a little bit here. So let's go back to that link. All right. Let me just try to remove Sis Vivian comment here. And let's go back to that link again, right? So I am about to bring that link up here. It's coming up. All right. So that go the link there. So I'm going to make myself smaller here. And I'm sure you guys can see the link. Let me blow the screen up for you guys here. All right. Now the screen is bigger now for you guys to see. So this is that black guy you see talking there. He represents what they call the United States Africa Development Foundation. Yes. All right. The U.S. Africa Development Foundation is an independent, you see, we talk about independent here, is an independent United States government agency established by Congress to invest directly in Africa grassroots enterprises and social entrepreneurs. All right. The acronym is USADF, investment increases income, revenue, and job by promoting. Let me see. My picture is down here. Let me see if I can move my picture a little bit here. Else I would just have to remove my picture from here. All right, so that I can better see the reading down here. So let me bring myself back. You can see me right now, right? All right. So there you go. So you see the United States African Development Foundation. Not many people know about that particular entity because they are an independent sponsor United States agency, but they go and invest into poorer communities across Africa. Poorer community across Africa. And part of our independent-minded group we're trying to establish, I want you to listen to the black guy again, all right? I didn't capture his name, but let's listen to him again and hear what he has to say, all right? Sorry for the interruption. So let's start
It's
his
a real
video over
opportunity. So
again.
investing
Right?
in agriculture, and especially
Let's start his video
cooperatives and
over.
community-driven
What
agriculture.
I will do here
And we
is
also
let
look
me
at the
just
issues
remove the
and
banner
challenges
here and hide
around
it.
energy
So
access.
let's
So
start it
this is
over
a
here.
really
I
but
want
to
to
really
listen to
stimulate
him
local
and
economic.
we'll break it
Very
down.
long time going forward. By 20, becoming more and more integrated into the global
In
economy.
fact, I want you to listen to the. I want for you to listen to the
Big
moderator,
picture
right?
dynamics
Let's listen
that
to the
affect
old man
not
also.
just the
Let's listen to
political
her.
sphere, right, but the whole continent. And here, some of the most powerful ones are demographic change.
Yes.
Right. So Africa is the youngest part of the world.
Yep.
Will be for a very long time going forward.
So you hear that, guys? You hear that? So in fact, let me just try to bring myself up here. All right. Now you heard what the woman just said, right? Africa is going to remain very young for a very long time. Yes. That includes Liberia. That means the population is going to get more young and younger. But what are we doing for our young people on our continent, especially in Liberia? What are we doing? Every day we come, we hear about politics here, politics there, politics that. But how much concern are we preparing the young people of Liberia? So as we preach our independent messages here, my goal is to bring to the attention of the major political parties what I believe are things that are rich and what the government or the other political party opposition want to do. Let me see their plan. If it makes sense that help the youth, then we will work with them, but they have to pay me for my knowledge. So let's listen to this lady now as she discuss Africa, and then we'll listen to this guy next to her and let's hear what he has to say. See, these are important things that put Liberia future at risk, but people don't believe in these things. Yeah, people don't believe in these things, and that's how kind of country will not develop. I'm telling you guys. So let's listen to this thing here, right? Let's listen.
By 2050, 1 in 4 people on Earth will be African. By 2034, Africa will have a labor force larger than China's or India's. So you have tremendous youth population.
So then what's going to happen? All right, by 2050, out of 4 or 5 people, 4 will be African. By 2034, the workforce on the continent of Africa will be in the highest demand, more than India and China. You hear no kind of future. Think about you being in your 14 years old. Let's say you are 14 years old now. All right? Let's say you're 14-year-old right now. Think about you being in that kind of status. You're 14-year-old and somebody is talking about Africa like that. Wouldn't you be so excited to say, wow, this is a very big feature for me. Let me see what my government or my political party will do for me. Nothing. Nothing. People are not looking at this information here. They don't care to discuss this information here. Liberians on the different platform, they don't care because they are so short-sighted. All they want is what is in there for me and how can I persuade the followers. We are not visionary thinker. We are not long-term thinker. We just believe in short-term. But here is the facts. The people are giving all the statistics right now. It is up to us now to look at that data, that information, and begin to prepare the young people's minds. Now, let me progress here, folks. Let me progress here.
With a lot of aspirations because of another element, which is access to technology. So they're seeing the same kind of possibilities, material and otherwise, for a standard of living that kids here in New York City are seeing, and the kind of demand and expectation relative to what some societies are able to provide by way of economic opportunities, creating some interesting tensions. So we've got a lot of young people. Africa is also the most rapidly urbanizing part of the world. So people coming into cities and getting exposure in some cases to more diversity of faith, diversity of.
And she's not lying, folks. She's not lying. If you look at Monrovia today, the influx of people from the different counties are now rallying up in Monrovia there, right? So what do we see all the time? Whenever we look at Monrovia, we see a large volume of people in every community. So when something little happens, you see large people in there. But they are giving all the statistics. By 2034, the workforce will be in demand. By 2050, out of 4 people you see, or 5, 4 of them will be African, or 2 of them will be African. What are we doing? If the workforce will be looking at Africa, what type of work they will be looking for us to do, or for our young people to do? Do we have the job skills? How many people in different groups today in Liberia can sit down on platform like this? How you see the people sitting there? How many of them you see on across any platform that telling you today that, oh yes, we are ready to take on the challenges. We are going through the length and breadth of the country. We know how many young people that do not have skill, and here are the plan we're going to help them to build their skill. How many people do those things in that country? Nobody. Everybody come on platform, they want to talk about politics. By the time you disagree with one political group, all of them run away from you. These people you're watching today, they got no interest in the future of the Liberian people. Not at all. They only want it for themselves. They want to use the young population of people to benefit themselves, because majority of them are old. Their ages are off the calendar. They're getting old. Some of them cannot live for the next 10 to 15 years. So what they're doing, they're trying to get what they can get now and get it for their children. Then when they die, that money go in the training packet. Jay Rennie is here to fight for your future. He's here. I'm not going into anybody politics. I'm not going to support anybody for president. I'm only here to tell you that if you believe in your future and you want the information, this is where you come to get it. These guys that you see trying to fight against Mr. Weir, they're not going to change anything. I'm not going to call no political party here. But what I'm telling you, if you're a young man in Liberia and you really want a better future for yourself, when you listen to this panel of people telling you about the prospect, the opportunity for Africa, the question you should be asking yourself, who in that country, from the government to the political party, really understand that my future is at risk, and what that party or individual or government is doing to promote me? And that's why I said, if any government right now, if anyone, whether it is the government party, listen to this kind of information and say, you know what, Randy, we have interest in what Africa is going to be in the future. We think your expertise will help us. Would you mind coming to join us to build for us a program that will support our policy? Yes, I will be joining our government. Yes, I will be joining our political party. Why? The bottom line here is, if it's in the interest of the young people, I will be going there. Why? Because I want the young people. But if you want to run a platform where you have no concern about the young people, but you only want to use them, why? Because when you are asked a specific question, the things you say, the things you do when it's making no sense, I'm not going to waste my time behind you. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And that's why, from the independent support standpoint, we will continue to push the agenda here. So let's listen to these people here, all right? See, these kind of conversation, fellow Liberians, many Liberians don't used to listening. They don't used to this kind of conversation. And that just go to show how limited we are. Because if these people were people who are just causing people mind, and I'm showing the video again, you will see the people will be staggering up. But because this is what we call an intellectual forum, many of our Facebook associate followers, they are not as custom. They don't used to these things then. It looks very foreign to them, because the very people they follow do not bring forward this kind of information for them to really appreciate and learn from it. And that's the saddest thing. So let's do what we can do here, folks.
Educational background than they may have had before. You see a lot of migration internally and externally, an increase in financial inclusion, as mobile banking especially has provided new opportunities. You see women playing more and more prominent roles in their societies, both in the private sector and the public sector, and overall, a region that's becoming more and more integrated into the global economy. So those are some really big drivers of change. And what I thought we might do just to start off is ask our panelists, which of these drivers they've seen affecting their work. So why don't we start with you, CD?
Great. Thank you, Michelle. And thank you all.
So the guy they call CD, he is the person representing the here to my screen right now. Okay, so I'll just buffer in there for a few seconds. So he is the one running that particular institution, right? So let's listen to him right now. Let's listen to what he has to say here now.
For being here this morning. It's a great opportunity. So I lead the U.S. African Development Foundation. We're sort of the U.S. government's best kept secret that's not supposed to be a secret. We're an independent agency established 20 years after USAID to really look at an African-led, African-driven model of development where we invest directly into African grassroots cooperatives, community organizations, and African entrepreneurs to really stimulate community-driven development and local economic development in hard-to-reach remote places. So we operate.
So now you listen to him right now, right? Giving their goal, their objective as to what that organization, that agency is all about. They are not going to government directly. They are working across the continent of Africa, engaging various communities. They're going and knocking on doors in different communities across Africa, helping young entrepreneurs, providing the resources they don't have, providing job skills to help them boost their economic opportunities. So if the Liberian government, for example, get engaged with such a guy like this and say, hey, we want this guy to come and help our young people, farmers, electrician, whatever we have, we want this guy to come and help us. But we need also expertise. Jay Rainier, can you come and help us? Of course, I will have to go because this guy work for an organization that is there to empower the young people across the communities in Liberia. So in that direction, in that spirit of oneness, we will go in there and begin to help. And that is why we're bringing this kind of conversation, and at this time to have a discussion about. But people are not willing to take on these things because the generation today in our country, they don't understand what is at risk that facing them. They don't discuss this thing. You don't hear them on the major platform they got. You don't hear them on the local radio. They just come and just talk their blah, blah, blah every day. And nothing seems to be changing fellow Liberians. But the reality will come one of these days. That's a good thing I like. Whoever got ears to hear, will hear. Whoever downplaying things, when the reality comes, it will sink in. But my role here is to tell you guys that there is an opportunity that is coming to that continent called Africa. And if we continue to bluff around and don't focus on what is right for our youth, we see that opportunity, and there's nothing we can do if we are not prepared for it. And the best time to prepare for it is right now. But you find Liberians in America here who already don't give a damn about that country. They're not going to encourage anybody to come and watch the thing here. Because you know what? They already got their economic benefit here. Whether it is 8 to 4, 9 to 5 job, they don't give a damn. And do you blame them? No, you don't blame them because they already living here, getting their late 2 cents. So why do they care to come and say, oh, listen? They want to listen to political entertainment, political, social, gossip and stuff like that. That's why they have interest in. So let's listen to the guy again. All right, they are going to engage communities, poorer communities, poor people, help them build their economic skills. So let's listen to most statistics from him. All right, so let me progress here.
In 20 countries throughout the continent. We're in the Horn of Africa, we're in the Sahel, we're in the Great Lakes regions, and that's sort of Niger and Mali and South Sudan and Somalia, DRC and Burundi, and really challenging places, but to really stimulate local economic development in those places by investing directly into Africans and their ideas for transformation. So when we look at social changes across the continent, we look at them, as you said, Michelle, you look through a prism of policy and governance and leadership, and we look through a prism of sort of development. And how do we look at these social challenges and opportunities from a development standpoint? And we're demand-driven and demand-responsive. So we're not in Washington, D.C., coming up with solutions for grassroots communities in Africa. We're really going to those places, and we have teams of people on the ground who have this local insight and local sensing capability to really find, fund, and support, again, community-driven solutions.
So that whole order, right? We leave it as community-driven solution. So you heard it, man. They are engaging African government. They are engaging institution, civil society group in Africa that have policy that are willing to engage, to develop programs that will help initiate solutions to the many problems that are facing the youth in the country. Now, if you have a government, for example, the We Are Led government, and say we got a policy where we want to promote the youth, what the youth want in Liberia, because you will have to decide what they believe these guys, the United States Africa Development Foundation, wants to do for them. If you have, for example, the Tailor Union in Liberia says, look, we want to do e-commerce tailoring. We want to be able to develop a software online where we can put in different measurement for different sizes of people. All right, wherever they are in the world, they can take our website and put in their measurement. We can solve for them and ship those things then to them. If they need any expertise that is related to my field, I will eventually help the government. Opposition come up with a policy and say, look, we want to help the young people. When we get there, this is what we want to do. I will also go provide my expertise. The only thing is they will have to pay me for it. But how many of these different political organizations, how often do you see talk show hosts bringing these kind of future challenges that face our country today? It will not work in any country if the people who support the different political institutions will run away from you because you're asking them is genuine question. That's why you see today, the very people that used to be here many weeks ago, you don't find them here anymore. Why? Because they believe that whoever they're worshiping, that person is the right person. Well, the person is not speaking on the youth of the country, on issues that are supposed to help the youth, prepare them for a better future. They don't get the damn about those things. So what do? We provide the facts to the young people on the ground that if you're between the age of 18 to 37, if you don't have a skill now, by the year 2034, how old will you be? Because by then, the job will change. The demand will be on Africa to provide the opportunity. But what will you, as a Liberian, who will be in that position at that time, when they walk up to you and ask you, what skill do you have to do the piece of job? If you don't have that skill, they will be going right to Sierra Leone and taking young people from Sierra Leone. They will be going to Ghana and taking people from Ghana. Why? Because your people today who are in opposition, the government, the Facebook talk show hosts, they are not presenting such an information for you to prepare yourself, because they don't give a damn about you but themselves. But what can we do? We can create that opportunity to open your minds and say, here is a very important information that you might want to look into. If they start to buy into it, guess what? They will start to see some little change or changes in the government, in the different political party. They will start to see the change. But you see, all these guys that just come on the show, they see small things, they go, they don't give a damn about the Liberian people. Yes, especially these political supporters, they don't give a damn about the people. Because such an important information like this, you will imagine they'll call their friends and say, wow, something important is happening for the youth of the country. No. As soon as they appear, if they don't see you talking about a political leader, that's it for you. They want to give you 1 to 2 minutes of your time, of their time. They're gone. But the very people who they want to convince, they are not even concerned about the people's future to vote for them. But to vote for them or their political leader. That's who they are. So let's play more here.
Issues around food security are really, really important to us, but also to the communities that we serve. And so when you think about a continent where 70% of 1.2 billion people, 70% earn their livelihoods somewhere along the agricultural value chain, from production to harvest, to processing, to distribution. But they have Africa, the continent, has a food import bill of $35 billion. So food insecurity is running rapid.
Now, the last time, so you that follow me here, right? When we're on focus on Africa, you hear the man say the import of food on the continent of Africa is around $35 billion. This guy run a foundation in Africa. And you have somebody who just come here because they want to argue and say, oh, the statistics make no sense. They did that, they did that, they did that, this. The United States hire professional people that don't even need to be on the ground in Africa to take statistics. You hear the man did that now, but watch, some of them will come few weeks from now. Oh, they did that not good. They did that not good. Look, don't listen to these guys. Do not listen to them. They just want to make their case in the form of argument. They don't do that much research as we do on this platform. Our research is not based on hearsay. We give you the link. We give you the real people that you get to see. These are the same guys. Listen, you're going to hear about Afrobarometer. That same Afrobarometer, let's listen to this guy. We listen for the Afrobarometer. It will be mentioned here because these guys, the United States Foundation for Africa Development, these guys also work with the Afrobarometer. That tells you how credible that institution is. But you got the hanky-panky guys and call themselves, oh, Afro this, they come and argue. Listen for that word Afrobarometer, right? So that made progress.
They're spending money, real money, billions of dollars to bring in food. And so if we can have these communities really invest in them to increase their production, to increase their market access, to really look at Africans being producers and consumers of goods and services, especially along the agricultural value chain, it's a real opportunity. So investing in agriculture, and especially cooperatives and community-driven agriculture. We also look at the issues and challenges around energy access. So this is a really, really important issue because Africans pay a lot for energy, but they don't have consistent access to power of any kind. They're paying for batteries, they're paying for candles, they're paying for kerosene, they're paying for diesel. So they're spending money on energy, but out of that 1.2 billion people, 600 million never have consistent access to power. And so a real focus around rural transformation and African transformation from an energy access lens is really important from a social change dynamic, real energy access. And so these are renewable solutions, sun, wind, water, bio, real solutions where we're seeing African innovation actually reach back to the US and to Silicon Valley, because these are African entrepreneurs who are facing the challenges of energy poverty, who are coming up with innovative solutions, and we're investing in them, grant financing, seed capital, and local technical assistance to help them create these enterprises, these energy efficient, energy access enterprises. And some of the models that they're coming up with are being copied and looked upon in the United States. So African is teaching the world a lot about renewable energy and off-grid energy access.
But that's a great point. Can I just flag that? Because this idea, for a long time, when we talked about best practices, there was this kind of unfortunate and ill-founded idea that they flowed one way across the Atlantic. And this is something exciting about connectivity and integration into the global economies, that we're seeing it much more of an exchange, right, of innovative ideas and practices.
It is. No, great. It's transforming the continent, and it's transforming also investment opportunities for U.S. companies looking to learn and to invest. But I think you landed, Michelle, when you mentioned the demographic changes and the demographic shift in Africa, and that is really paramount to all of these issues is young people. I mean, there's three numbers that just are striking. One is 15. The youngest country in the world is Niger. The average age is 15-year-old. The average age across the African continent, it's debatable, 18 or 19. The average age in America, 38. So literally 18, 19-year-olds. But then there's another stat that says 60% of Africans, 1.2 billion people, under the age of 25. 40% under the age of 15. This is the future workforce of the world
Mm-hmm.
in the African continent. So we need to invest, and we need to look at African social challenges as real economic opportunities. And a lot of that comes with job creation.
We need to look for the social opportunity for economic benefit. All right, you see that right there? I got another young man here by the name of Aaron Zuo. He's in Massachusetts. He's an independent plumber. He goes around the state of Massachusetts and other states, Rhode Island, and does what he do best, helping Americans. Now, when you talk about social challenges, changing the social challenges to economic benefits, what this guy is talking about the workforce, is going to play a major role. But how many people sitting on different platforms, bringing the young people to the platform and introducing them to the Liberian government and to the different political parties and say, hey, whatever is coming for Africa, with it being the youngest continent that the workforce will focus on. This young man who got his plumbing operation, you got Anson Jabba into the agriculture sector. You got Jay Rennie into the environmental sector. How many of you guys bringing these guys in to introduce them? How many of them, folks? How many of them? Political talk show hosts that support their party. How many of them bringing the young people in today and say, look, today we're not going to focus on our political leader. What we're going to focus on, you, the youth out there. Here are things that we believe will benefit you. You see the young man who is our guest today? He has a greater potential to explore Africa and help those who don't have the skills. We will promote him and stuff like that. The government, the political party, the civil society, they are not engaging in any kind of conversation. You listen to this guy breaking down the statistics. And who does he work for? The United States Africa Foundation, Development Foundation. They engage and they are always in Africa. They understand what are the things in Africa that are the greater risks. All right, guys, we'll be done 10 on 10. All right, so let's just run it for another more 10 minutes.
And employment and entrepreneurship. And so our focus around agriculture is very clear, as I laid out in food security. The focus around energy access is really, really paramount to a lot of our investments, but investing in young people and helping them be placed in the jobs and really create jobs. So entrepreneurship, again, it's not a silver bullet. This is like silver buckshot. We need to be having a lot of different opportunities out there for these young people, but this youth demographic that is an opportunity, that are looking and hungry for real transformational change, that are taking on technology like nowhere else in the world, is really something that we need to look at as a social challenge, but really an economic opportunity. And so our investment in entrepreneurship and African enterprise development with young people is really critical. And inclusive in that is an investment in women. And so we just know that the drivers of real change in African communities are women. When women have opportunities to increase their incomes, they actually pay for healthcare. They actually pay for education. And so it's not only that they're becoming more economically viable, but they're also transforming other social issues that we at the U.S. African Development Foundation may not focus on, which are mainly health and education. But if we help a woman become economically empowered, or a young person economically empowered, they're having financial tools, increased incomes, revenues to pay for other social challenges, and such as healthcare and education.
Fantastic. A lot to dig into there. How about you, Jen?
Yeah, I think one of the big transformative shifts that I've certainly seen in my career at Google and Facebook, and then working in startups in Nairobi and Johannesburg, is the shift to mobile. So there are about 5 billion people on the internet globally today. There's about 4 billion mobile phones. That number is expected to only increase in the next coming years. And if you think about the potential of a mobile phone, there's more access to information and computing power today in your pocket than NASA had when it sent a man to the moon, which is incredible if you think about the potential that has to open up financial inclusion for communities that have traditionally been shut out, like minorities and women. If you think about the potential for access to information, for community organizing, for really being able to sort of tap into the global knowledge economy and grow a business. So I think there's a lot of potential in terms of the growth of mobile, and it's actually really changed the way that a lot of big technology companies in the private sector have built and developed for these markets. So if you look around Silicon Valley, a lot of the big companies now actually pivoted maybe around 5 or 6 years ago, where a lot of the products they had built were built in this environment for the PC and the desktop computer. And they looked at their numbers. I think this was around like 2010, and realized the number of people accessing our products is really increasing on a mobile device. And right now, internally, we don't have teams that are building for mobile apps. We're not structured to think about the mobile phone as, a priority compared to our desktop team. So they actually pivoted their whole businesses internally and started building these teams just for mobile devices. And that has really been the story of Silicon Valley over the past 10 years. The companies that have sort of won Silicon Valley are the companies that have built mobile first. And if you sort of compare that with what's going on in what we're calling next billion user markets and emerging markets, and certainly the African continent, people coming online today often have never accessed a desktop computer. The word mobile first is meaningless because their first access to the internet and computing was a mobile device on their phone. So it's a really interesting paradigm when you think about the businesses getting built today in Africa. A lot of them have been built mobile first, and that's sort of part of their secret sauce and their success is the paradigm of computing for, if you think about companies like Gojek, this ride-sharing company in Southeast Asia, or Jumia, sort of the Amazon of East Africa and West Africa. Environment where you may not have great Google Maps data and penetration across every city. People may be on phones where the connection isn't great and the Wi-Fi is coming in and out, or data is really expensive, so you can't stream video. And so all of these constraints look really different in the next billion user economies and markets. And because of that, there's a lot of innovation going on that is actually, in many ways, I would say, like ahead of the U.S. in terms of leading the way for mobile development of businesses and of technology products.
Fantastic. Now, Father Smalls, I'm so glad you're here, because I want to hear about your observations on kind of how these trends might impact or affect your work, but particularly because you can bring this lens of how the faith community intersects with all of these dynamics, some incredibly exciting, and some, sometimes a bit alarming. And I think we'll come back to tech and sort of the two sides of the coin there.
Right, thank you very much, Michelle. I was just remembering this morning the first time I met the Pope, and by that we now know the Pope of the Blob, the President Hastert, when he gathered us all as new members. I was in the room about 2011, and he said, of course, we've got some members of the faith community here, and I want to sort of encourage the role that you have in our mission as CFR as leveraging your networks, and this was in the context of sort of a better understanding of foreign policy, but the role of faith communities in generally sort of the foreign policy environment and foreign policy debate. So I sort of took it seriously. I mean, at least from that Pope, whatever about this new Pope we've got, Francis, he's all out there, and we can get to him in a minute. But how do we, and I asked myself, I used to do sort of public policy a little bit in Washington, but how do we, in faith communities, how do we leverage our networks in a way that's contributing to these new developments, particularly since they've been opened up by tech and what you might consider the sort of the democratization of financial cooperation, right? We don't generally want to leave all our financial decisions to governments, as Richard was saying this morning, nor do we really think that big actors like international NGOs are also the only silver bullet or the solution that we have. If people have wanted to use their own personal
All right, we'll stop this here for now. And let me say a big thank you to every one of you guys here. All right, we stop this here for now. All right, we'll stop this here for now, and let's say we'll be back here tomorrow. So tomorrow I'm scheduled to go on the issue room. They're going to have a special interview with me tomorrow, and I'm going to be discussing in detail what I've just presented to you guys here. Yeah. Why is she sounding like a robot? Just because she worked for Facebook, Vivian. Because she worked for Facebook, and she worked for how do you call it? She worked for Facebook and she worked for Google. So those are all high power technology. Maybe some of them have the voice behind some of the women voices we heard. So maybe it's part of that too. So it's possible that she's like that. But tomorrow again, I will be on issue room. In the issue room show, and it's going to be a special broadcast for me tomorrow. I hope I will not have too many interruption with the trick or treating tomorrow. But I will be on there tomorrow at 7 p.m. New York time. So please come and join me. It's going to be a safer conversation. I'm just going to tell folks about where I stand now and stuff like that. All right. So there are other political parties that are trying to reach out to me for my expertise. I will not be able to disclose that at this early stage, but there are negotiations taking place in the back end because of my area of expertise. I'm not going to disclose that here now. I'm not going to disclose it on any show. I just have to wait until things get finalized. So, but they are all like trying to reach out to me, and but I still have to make up my mind. Put the young people first. Yes, put the young people first. So let me say a big thank you to you guys. Give you guys 2 minutes back because I said we're going to be leaving from here at 10 on 10. So it's just 10:08 my time. So I'd like to say a big thank you to every one of you guys for joining me here this evening. We are on a new path, a pathway that don't support any political party right now. So we expect to have a very low turnout here because of where we stand. And our presentation is more educative, more resourceful, and more intellectual. And you will not find many typical Liberians attending this kind of section that we have because they are not used to it yet. So it will take time for them to buy into it. The taste for the program is not really their taste, and so it will take a while. But I would say, don't feel discouraged. Let's keep doing what we're doing because we are on the right path. These very things we're talking about today in the future, when it start to affect those who are not paying attention, our video, your present will be proving that we were right and will always be right. So good night to you guys and have yourself a blessed day. God bless you guys. See you guys tomorrow.